Oh, it's time. Time to get radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Radical Comment of the Week for November 10th through the 16th, 2020. These are the very best comments from that time period. Starting out with the honorable mentions, we have Sneaky V, Wolfpack1, and Juliet India Mobile. The bronze medal comes to us from Juliet India Mobile. I'll openly admit I don't have a Twitter, Instagram, or any other of these social media time wasters. I personally stopped at Facebook, and my company told me to get a LinkedIn because it encourages some sort of networking BS according to some statistical quack. I see the benefits of social media connections, but I see them as a means for a bunch of nobody people to have 15 seconds of fame. That's that. My life isn't perfect, but it's awesome waking up every day knowing I'm me. Call it conceited, but I don't need to post online that I cut a rope this morning or that I picked up the same cup of coffee I'd always get in order to give validation to my life. I think this is how people like MGR and Scamcock use their YouTube channels. Instead of coming to terms that they are of no real societal importance, they've carved out a niche where they can be somebody. I can see this for Reggie. Military life is built on camaraderie, and everyone plays a vital role in each other's success. Leave that environment, and you are no longer the guy I can depend on for X. You are just another face in the crowd. You look at MGR's subs and Scamcock's success in conning people, and you adapt. The most ironic thing about it is people who sub to people like Reggie, MGR, and Scamcock are never going to elevate them to be more. If that is what they truly desire, the digital Fantasyland reference, maybe someday Reggie will find that small apartment filled with multiple copies of PlayStation games, old-ass Freshka, and no bed frame isn't really elevating him or bringing him happiness. It's kind of like a fake happiness. It's a fake happiness that a lot of these YouTubers go through, but some are happy. But, I could never really live that way. As far as social media and putting all of your time into essentially what would be a digital fantasy, really. That's why I call it the digital fantasy land. I don't really, and in general, what people thinks will make them happy, in most times actually ironically does not make them happy. Juliet India Mobile, some of the happiest people I've ever met in my life actually live paycheck to paycheck. Ironically, I know it sounds crazy, but some of the happiest people I know actually do not have great wealth, or they do not have great, presences on social media. I think actually, finding true happiness has nothing to do with those things. Now, great wealth, it can make you happy. Sure, it can make you happy because you have less, it's less stressful is what I'm saying. But I think so many people put an importance on things like their presence on social media and how many people praise and worship them on social media and their monetary wealth. They put so much focus on that it takes away from the things that actually truly, really make you happy in life, which I think are family and friends. At least, for me, that's what has made me happy, is just family and friends and just the simple things, right? Next up, we got the silver medal, which comes to us from ServeBot42. I just worked a labor-heavy job. That was a paint job. I didn't do the painting. I cleaned up the aftermath. That means pulling all the tape from the floors, windows, using a ladder to pull cardboard between the ceiling and roof, digging holes to put dirty water in so it doesn't seep to the neighbors, then pack up everything into a truck, all trash, folding all tarps. That was nonstop work. My body aches and I have a headache, but I made it. And this isn't even my actual job. My landlord's brother lost a crew member and needed someone ASAP. I did this for extra money. I'm saying this because eventually I will retire when I'm old, and I no longer have or probably can do these intense jobs. Now imagine the e-beggars that I hope for their sake have a retirement nest egg. Those that don't, whoo boy, imagine doing hard labor in your 50s with your body having no experience whatsoever. These digital panhandlers may have easy money, but there's 2 points to consider. 1, That easy money won't last, just like chicks when they hit the wall. E-beggars will lose their audience if they don't try new things. Nobody's going to want to see the same boring style for 20 plus years. 2. Not all, but most of these YouTubers don't know the true value of $1. The work, pain, and stress that comes from earning it. These YouTubers that don't know this will suffer the most because they are very irresponsible with money. Yeah, the time when it's over. The time when it comes to an end. What will they do? Many of these YouTubers, you can clearly see that they do not have a life plan. They do not have a retirement nest egg. For all the ones that you see right now that think they're doing fantastic and great, what would happen if you take some of these people and you put them in a situation to where they had to do heavy labor like you did, SirBot42? Can you see Review Tech USA or Heavy Metal Jesus? Did I say Heavy Metal Jesus? I'm sorry. Metal Jesus actually, doing what you did? Could you see them, 50, 60 plus years old? You have to actually have some kind of a plan, and maybe some of them do. If they do, then that's good. But a lot of them don't have a plan beyond YouTube, and that's very, very, very irresponsible. This one's rushed, by the way. I only have a few more minutes to finish this one because, ironically, guess what I have to do? I have to go to work. And the shiny gold medal comes to us from Arioka. Here's an interesting analogy of what I think YouTube gaming channels like ACG, MGR, well, you listed a lot there, are doing on Patreon or Join. You'll have to link there. The channel you linked is called ThatWasEpic, and it has 5.14 million subscribers. They shoot with expensive cameras and often travel and put many hours of filming in order to accumulate enough pranks to create one video. There's also plenty of editing, so it takes time to produce a single video, and they have real expenses at the end to produce them because they're not using sets and doors like most gaming channels do. On this channel, there isn't a single link for Patreon, Join, or PayPal, only to merchandise like t-shirts. One, the main person behind it, often gives free expensive gifts to his pranked victims, such as the latest iPhone, MacBook laptops, or even cash. And seems like a genuinely decent person. I don't really like most of the YouTube pranksters, but his stuff is mostly innocent, lighthearted, and fun. He doesn't go overboard bothering, harassing, or touching people for clickbait like the vast majority of prank channels on YouTube do. My question to content creators and people who defend gaming channels accepting donations is the following. If a channel like the one I mentioned with actual expenses can survive YouTube without Patreon, Join, and PayPal, why can't they? Well, surviving without Patreon, surviving without Join, surviving without PayPal. Some of these smaller channels at eBeg would probably say, well, you know what, we need the support. We need the support. We're not big enough channels yet. Well, you hold these people to their words, because if those channels grow and they become bigger, isn't it then time to drop the Patreon, to drop the Join, to drop the PayPal, to stop getting donations? Beat 'em Ups has now over 1 million subscribers. A very big channel, right? So one would say, why shouldn't he drop those means of accepting money from his audience? Why shouldn't he stop getting donations, expensive donations, gifts? Why shouldn't he stop? I would use this as an example. I would point to channels like this, as I often point to, channels like Scott DeWaz. I'm like, okay, here's some big channels, and they don't have to eBeg, right? And I think in the case of Scott DeWaz, correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't think he ever had a Patreon, like he ever had a PayPal. So you know what that means here? That means that there's a lot of channels producing, good content out there on YouTube that don't need to eBeg. I went to this one channel that was epic, and I like the video I saw, which was the Cholo cat calling. I liked it because it was a good example of a prank video that was not too invasive, right? He's just going around like, "Hey, vato, what you doing?" Or what did he say? It's like, I can't replicate the whistle. It's like, hey, what you up to, girl? What you up to, girl? And it was hilarious because he's a white guy. And there's this one time where he's in line for something. And he's like, no English, no English. And they're like, no, you know English. So it was pretty funny. It was lighthearted. And it was funny when this one guy actually said, yeah, I want to be friends, because he was asking people if they wanted to be friends. And then they both did like push-ups and everything. And some people were good sports and everything. And I didn't know that he actually, gave some gifts to actually these people that were caught in the pranks. When you think about it, well, that's a nice gesture, because these people are being caught in the pranks. You could say that they might be bothered for a few seconds and everything. It doesn't seem like it's a traumatic experience, because he comes across as a lighthearted person. There's other prank videos that I've seen, and people share them with me, and I'm like, well, that was just disturbing. Like someone going up behind people and moaning in their ear. I'm like, those border on just harassment. Okay, so I think there's a thin line between prank and harassment. And this channel, That Was Epic, I don't think that's harassment. I don't think it is, because it's just so lighthearted in nature. But these other channels with these people that, go up to actually make these viral videos and manufacture those while harassing people, I can't get behind that. So I think if you're going to have a prank channel, I don't know. What do you think in the comment section down below? What's the perfect way to, structure a prank type channel? Can it be done? I don't know. That's an interesting topic of conversation. This is all the time I have right now. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.